Joy, joy, joy. This is Swami Tirtha in a little chilly Florida weather and a little drizzle out there. So, do you ever dream about integrity? And crazier still, about joy and integrity? Yesterday, somebody asked me if for a tip on how to wake up in the morning in joy. And they replied today saying that they thought of based on what I said, they thought of a song, and they sang the song, and it worked. So last night I had a interesting dream. I was with a group of people, and I'm pretty sure it was with my network marketing group of the LifeWave company. And somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, this thing that I bought from you, not from LifeWave, from just somewhere else," said, "Oh, we paid for this, but it's not getting delivered." And I saw the little circles and the colors. They look like little lotuses or something. And then all of a sudden, I was standing next to somebody else in the company, and pretty high up in the company. They've been here a long time. They've helped lots and lots of people. And she said the same thing. Showed me their pictures, their email, and we ordered this, but we didn't receive it. And in that moment, in the dream, I said, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna repay you myself out of my pocket," just like that. And then all of a sudden, everybody like, "Oh, yeah, he's got integrity. That's pretty cool." So I woke up in the morning like that. Now, I could say, have dreams about integrity, and you'll wake up happy, joyful, but that's a joke. How do you do that? But here's the weird thing: as I heard that word integrity in my head in the dream, I also saw it being connected to a lasting joy. So stay with me for a second here. So if you have a tip, like yesterday I said, one thing you could do is raise your arms up in the air and expand yourself. And breathe, inhale, and any kind of expansion is joyful automatically. You could say joy, 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 anything like that. But could be, there are times of the day something else comes along, and some stress comes along, some surprise comes along, something starts to bum us out, or we choose to get bummed out, I should say. But the integrity is one of the components in our life it's like a master key to not doubting ourselves, not thinking of ourselves as worthless, things like that. These are things that cause anxiety, even in our dreams. And so, without putting too fine a point on it, follow being true to yourself, listening to your heart. If you meditate, if you pray, being true to the messages that you get from God or Source or whatever you call it. Even when everybody else zigs and you feel you have to zag. And it's easy to want to zig with everybody else because, at least for me, I should say, when I get a message, do this. Would you like to do this? I'm invited. It's never, hey, do this, unless I'm really not listening, which happens sometimes. But usually it's, oh, dear, would you like to do this? And I just more or less say yes as much as I can. Sometimes it's just, oh, I have a better idea. And that never is a better idea. That's another story for another day. But back to the point, when we are given a mission, if you will, an assignment, a way to think, a way to be, we look around, nobody else is like that. I feel, I'll keep it to me, I feel, well, this is weird. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be different. But that's the assignment I was given, nobody else. So that's a form of integrity right there, There's, of course, integrity in the dream where I made sure everybody was treated fairly. That's an external integrity. So there's internal and external integrities. So to summarize, there are tips that we could do in the morning or throughout the day with our bodies to expand. We could say joy, joy, joy. We could think of songs, anything that brings us joy, jokes, anything like that. But to have it sustain, to make it a part of our life and not just fixing putting a Band-Aid on life, the more of our own personal integrity, whatever that may be, and nobody else needs to know about it. It's who we are when no one else is around. That keeps us afloat, keeps us grounded, keeps us from dropping back into doubt, self-love, self-loathing, self-esteem issues. And so it's an extension. It plugs an idea and helps the integrity is sort of like I guess the fabric of which joy is dyed into. How's that for suddenly just came in my brain like that? Sounds pretty good. So I'll tell you a story about having integrity when no one else is around, when no one's looking. There's a story of a teacher, and he's teaching his students about integrity and life. He said, I want you each to go out. Here's a, take your knife, get a chicken, and go find some place where nobody's looking, and cut off the head of the chicken and bring the chickens back. So we'll cook them up for dinner for our big party. So everybody, all the students go out, go around the corner, cut off the heads of the chicken. Nobody's looking, bring it back. One student doesn't come back. After 10 minutes, 15 minutes, finally they start looking for him, and they see him just dejected, sitting on a bench. Chicken is right there, alive. And they said, what's going on? The teacher says, why are you here? He said, well, you told me to go someplace and cut off the head of the chicken where nobody's looking. He says, but wherever I went, the chicken was looking. So, hey, Adele is here. And Adele's out with the horses, I think, somewhere in this northeast country. And so that's the story, Live your life when nobody's looking, just as you live it, when everybody is looking. And that is a fabric. It's a foundation for which our joy, our boat floats in the water. Hope that's helpful. Hope it's inspiring. If you have any questions, comments, if you have similar or different ideas, pop them in the chat. And, oh yeah, she's in Kentucky. Great. Is that at the Kentucky Derby? No, I don't think so. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, so if you have questions, you want to know about how to deal with your anxiety and burnout in natural ways, this is not a replacement for medical or psychological help. Definitely you need to see people for those kind of issues. This is just holistic education, information, education, and hopefully a little entertainment. Okay. All right. And Adele's going to hopefully walk with us next week. Yep. It's getting a little chilly, but still walkable. Early mornings. Okay, everybody. Have a great evening. Looks like I keep popping my head out of my work around 5:30, so maybe this will be closer to the time. Well, I'll try to get the time pretty much accurate, so if you want to come in live and chat and things like that, we could do that. All right, have a great evening, everybody, and expand yourselves, arms up, legs spread out. Joy, joy, joy.